بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. The reality of Bareilawi'ism, abridged and adapted from the original work of Sheikh Ihsan Elahi Zahir. Chapter 1. The founder of Bareilawi'ism is bad. Bareilawiya is one of the major schools of the Hanafi madhab. It was founded by a man called Ahmad Raza Bareilawi. The name is derived from his place of birth, the city of Bareilawi in the state of Uttar Pradesh, UP, India. The other major group of Hanafiya are the Deobandis, Jamaatul Islam, and Sufism. His name, Ahmad Raza, was born into a well-educated family. His father, Naqi Ali, and grandfather Raza Ali are counted among the famous scholars of Hanafiya. He was born on 14 June 1865 CE, 10 Shawwal 1272 AH. He was named Muhammad. His mother named him Aman Mian. His father named him Ahmad Mian, and his grandfather named him Ahmad Raza. His followers gave him the title Allah Azrad, a title of respect like Sa and Musta. But Ahmad Raza was not content with any of these names and named himself Abdul Mustafa. He used this name extensively in his writings. He was noted to have a dark complexion. His nephew corroborated this. In the beginning of his life, his color was like dark wheat, but continuous work and toil had removed their brightness and luster from his color. He said, Amarazo was lean and thin. He suffered from kidney pain and other diseases that caused wickedness. He had continuous pain in the back. He often used to suffer from headaches and fever. He had a long-standing defect in his right eye, which eventually went blind. Hence, when food was placed in front of him, he ate the meal but did not touch the chapatis. His wife asked why he had not touched the chapatis. He replied that he could not see them, even though they were next to the dish. Amar Raza Bareilawi was afflicted with forgetfulness. His memory was weak. Once he put his glasses on his forehead. After finishing talking, he began to search for them. He couldn't find the glasses and forget that they were on his forehead. He was worried for a while. At length, he placed his hand on his forehead, and the glasses fell into place on his nose. Once he was affected by bubonic plague and vomited blood. He was short-tempered and used to get angry quickly. With regard to his tongue, he was very careless. He often uttered profane language that was not befitting a layman, far less a person of knowledge. One of his followers was compelled to say that he used to be very harsh towards his opponent, and in this matter used to disregard the Sharia limits. His coolness and harshness. Many of his good friends left him because of this habit. Among them was Muhammad Yasin, the founder of the Madrasa Isha'at al-Ulum, who was considered by Ahmad Raza as his teacher. Moreover, he kept on losing his grip on the Madrasa Misbah al-Tahdib, which was built by his father because of his spitefulness, bad temper, strong language, and takfir of other Muslims. The management sidelined him, and ultimately, within the heartland of Bareilawiya, his group was abandoned by every other madrasa. Exaggerated claims of his followers. In common with other false sects, the Bareilawis concoct fanatical stories and baseless incidents to exaggerate the excellence of their imams. They fail to realize that these claims have the opposite effect and open the door to scorn and derision. As an example, analyze the following controversial, convoluted narration. It has been said about Ahmad Raza that his intelligence and understanding was such that when he was a mere 4 years old, he finished reading the Quran on the customary occasion of Bismillah Khawani. An event occurred that amazed and shocked the people. After teaching him Bismillah Rahman Rahim, his teacher began to teach him Alif Ba Tha. When the time for Lam Alif came, he remained quiet. The teacher asked him again, "Go ahead, say Lam Alif." Then Ahmad Raza said, "We have already studied them, so I repeat." At this, his grandfather Raza Ali Khan said, "Son, obey the teacher." Ahmed Raza looked at him. The grandfather understood intuitively that the boy adopted this. This was a segment of a haruf mufarrida. Then why was there a marker letter in it? Keeping in view the boy's age, it was not appropriate to reveal this secret, but the grandfather thought this boy was going to grow up to be a son of knowledge and understanding, and will rise high above the horizon. Accordingly, he said, "Son, your statement is correct, but actually the alif you read earlier is a hamza, and this is the alif, but alif is always sakin, and since the beginning is not possible with a sakin, that is why a letter meaning lam is brought in front of it, and its completion is the purpose." Then Ahmad Raza said in reply that the letter will be enough for it. Then why is lam so specific? Bata, dal, and sin could also be used in the beginning. The grandfather hugged him in his extreme joy and prayed for him from his heart. And then he said, "Lam and alif have apparently a specific relation, and eventually or openly in writing both of their shapes are similar. La or alif is because the qalb of lam is alif and the qalb of alif is lam. Even native Arabic speakers are unable to understand this completely absurd rule. Somehow, these non-Arabs have understood and expounded upon this spurious relationship between alif and lam. These Bareilawi'is are not satisfied with merely drawing comparison between their Imam and the prophets and messengers. In fact, they wish to give precedence to the former over the latter by showing that the Imam and founder was not in need of knowledge from anyone but Allah, who made his chest a receptacle, a revealed knowledge and sciences. By way of illustration, Nasim Bastawi wrote, the Alimul Ghaib has blessed your, that is Ahmad Raza, chest and made it a store of knowledge and sciences, and filled with and enriched your mind and brain and heart and soul with reflections of belief and certainty and pure feelings and thoughts. But as every human has to deal with and have relations with the world, that is why apparently Allah Hazrat, that is Ahmad Raza, had to walk on the roads. The implication is that Ahmad Raza appeared to take knowledge from his teachers, but in actually his teacher was Allah himself. Ahmad Raza probably wrote about himself, "Headache and fever are those blessed diseases that used to happen to the Prophet. Allah sent his praise and blessing upon them." Elsewhere he commented, "Alhamdulillah, I have frequent fever and headaches. أولئك كتب في قلوبهم إيمان ويده بروح منه." For such he has written faith in their hearts and strengthened them with proofs, light and true guidance from himself. Further, it is written about him by his followers. His teacher repeatedly said Fatha in a particular ayah, and he used to recite it with the kasra. After seeing this, his grandfather called him and asked for a copy of the Quran. He saw that there were vowel mistakes in the book, meaning the kasra, which emanated from the true tongue of the Ahmad Raza, was correct. Then he asked, "Why didn't you recite the way the Maulawi Sahib was writing?" And replied, "I intended to recite as he recited, but I could not control my tongue." Infallibility. The implication is that Ahmad Raza attained the status of innocence from errors during childhood. The Bareilawis clearly affirmed this belief for their Imam and founder. Accordingly, Abdul Hakim Qadri wrote, "The pen and tongue of Ahmad Raza was safe from all kinds of slips and errors, in spite of it being known that an alim always falls into some kind of error. However, he did not commit even a single simple mistake." Another correspondent suggested that Ahmad Raza never uttered any word that was not according to the Sharia. Allah kept him safe from all kinds of slips and error. Similarly, Ahmad Raza was free from mistake from childhood. The following of the straight path was made a trust on him. The author wrote in Anwar Raza, "Allah had purified his pen and tongue from all mistakes. It was also said that Ahmad Raza was in the hands of the Ghaud Azam, like a pen in the hands of a writer, and Gaude, أيوة Gaude, even the first one is Gaude. Gaude Azam was in the hands of the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu, like a pen in the hands of a writer, and the Messenger of Allah himself will not say anything other than revelation. I know. One Bareilawi poet praised Hamaraza thus: Allah's pleasure lies with the Prophet's pleasure, and the Prophet's pleasure lies with the pleasure of Raza, Ahmad Raza. Another follower argued that the existence of Ahmad Raza is a sign from among the signs of Allah. One of the mockers of the companions, may Allah peace with them, of the Messenger of Allah, remarked about his Imam and guide. Our paying visit to the Barawi lessens our eagerness to visit the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu. Exaggerating causes to grip of internet to loosen. One of the Bareilawi's writers and thus one day at the blessed age of just 3 and a half, he was present near his masjid, and a person dressed as an Arab came by and spoke to him in Arabic. He replied in fluent Arabic, and after that the man dressed as an Arab was never seen again. Another said, one day the teacher said, "Oh Ahmad, are you a man of origin? It takes me time to teach you, but it takes no time for you to learn." At the age of 10, his father, who also used to teach him, said, don't learn from me, but you teach me." It is worth mentioning here that his teacher Mirza Ghulam Qadir Beg was a brother of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Bastawi narrated about his Ahmad Raza's knowledge and excellence. He achieved the honor of the degree and the star at the age of 14. On the same day, he gave an answer to the issue of suckling to his respected and beloved father. The answer was completely right. From this, his respected father adduced his intelligence, ability, and from that day, he took on the job of issuing fatwa. At the age of 8, he answered a question on inheritance, which had been put to him while his respected father was out of town. On his respected father's return, he showed it to him. His father commented that the answer appeared to have been written by a man, Miyan, that is Ahmad Raza. You should not write so soon. But at the same time, he reminded that it will be a compliment if any elder wrote such an answer. Now, this statement suggests that Ahmad Raza had started issuing fatwa by the age of 8, but Ahmad Raza himself wrote, "I issued the first fatwa in 1286 Hijri when I was 13 years old, and on the same day, prayer and other religious duties became obligatory on me." Hence, Bastawi claimed that Ahmad Raza began issuing fatwa in complicated issues like inheritance at just 8 years of age, whereas Ahmed Raza himself contradicted him by saying that he issued the first fatwa in the age of 13. Equally strange is the claim that he completed his studies and achieved his son Faraga final degree when he was still only 14 years old. These are the other glaring inconsistencies in Hayat al-Hazrat. Zafaruddin Biharar wrote, Ahmad Raza wanted to learn some selected science from Maulana Abdul Haq al-Kharabadi, but did not agree to teach him. He reasoned that Ahmad Raza used very strong language against his opinion. Bastawi said that he was 20 years old when this accident occurred. Elsewhere, one of the Bareilawi's followers wrote, Ahmad Raza became the honored student of Sayyid al-Rasul Shah in 1294 Hijri and revived the certificate of Hijaz Salinsis in Hadith and other sentences from him and received. Rasul Shah's son Abul Hassan Ahmad in 1296 Hijri, when he will have been 26 years old. It is difficult to recognize this conflict account. Did he complete his studies by the age of 14, or was he still studying at 26? As someone once said, La Zakira li Ghaza, liars do not have good memories. His family and occupation. Some of the detractors allege that he belonged to a Shia family, performed the taqiyya and hide his identity in order to live amongst Al-Sunnah and propagate Shia beliefs. Some of the proofs offered by his opponents are as follows. The names of Ahmad Raza's father and grandfather and those before them resemble names found amongst the Shia. His full name with the genealogy was Ahmad Raza bin Naki Ali bin Raza Ali bin Kazim Ali. Ahmad Raza uttered some disparaging statement regarding the mother of the believers, Aisha, may Allah please with her. This against the Aqeedah of Al-Sunnah. 3. He played a prominent role in propagating some of the beliefs taken from Shia. He even wrote some treatises that were apparently against the Shia and in favor of Al-Sunnah. Thus, he fulfilled all of the requirements of taqiyya. 4. Amara used narration in many of his works that were exclusive to the Shia. These narrations were contrary to the beliefs of Al-Sunnah. For example, Ali, may Allah please with him, will distribute hell on the day of judgment. Fatima, may Allah please with her, was named as such because Allah has protected her and her progeny from hellfire. 2. Sectioning the Imams of Shia, he stated that Aghwat began with the Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, and continued till Hassan Askari. He reproduced the same chain as the Imams of the Shia. Amar Raza declared Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, as a Mushkil Kusha, and said, one who supplicated with the famous dua of Saifi, which reflects the beliefs of the Shia, as his difficulties are removed. The dua of Saifi is, call Ali who manifests wonders. You will find him as one who helps. O Ali, by the mediation of your walaya, canonization, all worries are extinguished. Similarly, he made famous the usage of Panjin Pink and promulgated this couplet, which means there are 5 who Baraka remove all my afflictions: Muhammad, Ali, Hassan, Hussein, and Fatima. Information of the article of Jafar that resembles the Shia Aqidah. He wrote in his book Khalis al-Tiqad. Jafar is a book made a letter which was written by Imam Jafar for Ahlul Bayt. In it are mentioned all things of necessity. Similarly, all events which will happen till the day of judgment are recorded in it. He wrote about the Shia article Al-Jamiyah, that it was the scripture in which Ali, may Allah be with him, documented in alphabetical order all the incidents of the world. Ahmed Raza Bareilawi made the mention of the following Shia narrations. It was asked of Imam Raza, 8th Imam of the Shia, to teach this application which could be narrated at the graves of Ahlul Bayt. So he replied that one should go to the grave and recite Allahu Akbar 40 times, and then say, Assalamu alaikum ya Ahlul Bayt, O Ahlul Bayt, I invoke you as an intercessor with Allah for my problems and ailment, and I declare myself free from the enemies of the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He published such narration in order to glorify the Imams of the Shia at the expense of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, such narrations are unknown to Al-Sunnah. To carry favor with the Shia, the Taziyah, he wrote, there is no problem in having a replica of Hussein stop in your house to drive blessing from it. Many more such examples can be found in his book and writings. 5. Amir Raza approved of the tradition of Bay'ah, swearing allegiance to the Imams of the Shia. In this regard, he penned a message in Arabic. O Allah, grant blessing, peace, and favors to our chief and master Muhammad, the chosen one who occupies a high place, to Ali Murtada, one with whom Allah is pleased, and who occupies a lofty position, a submissive person from his community, better than the person bygone, to Al-Hussein, who is from his group, better than so and so, and to Al-Hussein, who belongs to person who have surpassed, to Zayn al-Abidin, who performs prostrations frequently, Bakir, who possesses the teachings of the Prophet and supplier of the right altar of Qadr and master of the Tasneem, and to Jafar, who seeks the pleasure of his Lord, like Prophet Musa, may Allah grant blessings to him. In summary, Ahmad Raza strove to bring the Muslims closer to the Shia and Rafida by mentioning the Imams of the Shia in this particular order. 6. Ahmad Raza Bareilawi pronounced takfir on the scholars of Al-Sunnah in the Indian subcontinent. He issued a fatwa that their masjid was similar to their homes, and it was not correct to consider them houses of Allah. Similarly, he forbade sitting with Al-Sunnah and marrying them, as far as Shia are concerned. Then he used to recommend names from the Imams Ba'da Ajbadi methods. B7. It has been alleged that Ahmad Raza Bareilawi was Shia Rafidi because he wrote many exaggerated supposed in praise of the Imams of the Shia in the same way the Shia did. Means of Hikam. There are many differing mentions about Ahmad Raza Bareilawi's occupation. It has been reported that he belonged to as a Midar family and that he used to receive a yearly stipend. His death, Ahmad Raza Khan Bareilawi died of pleurisy. Before his death, he issued many wills which were compiled as a treatise entitled Wisayat Sharif. Ahmad Raza Khan said before he died, the most important obligations among all the obligations is to stand firm on my deen and madhab which can be found on my books. He also said, my beloved brothers, I do not know how many days I will be amongst you. You are Mustafa Sallallahu innocent sheep. You are surrounded on all sides by wolves that want to divert you away from what you are upon and cause you to be engulfed by tribulation. Beware of them and stay away from them. Such are the Deobandis and other than them. At the end of his will, he wrote, "If it suits you, then in the Fatiha, a couple of times we send some of these things. One, homemade iced milk or iced milk, if or even if it is a buffalo's milk. 2, chicken biryani. 3, chicken pulavi. 4, mutton shami kebab. 5, parade and cream. 6, firini. 7, lentils and ginger and its necessaries. Arrange if you can among lettuce and ginger and its necessaries. 8, mutton kachoris. 9, apple juice. 10, pomegranate juice. 11, soda bottle. 12, iced milk. Arrange if you can one amongst them every day, or do whatever is as easy as it happened. One person at the time of burial brought homemade ice milk. Ahmad Raza Bareilawi died at the age of 68 on 25 Safar 1320 Hijrah and 1921 CE.